I can bang out pretty quick in 2 pans. And secondly, it's like our house was built on the sun out there. It's like 1,000,000 degrees high humidity today, so we're gonna stay in the AC. So today's recipe, what we're going to be doing is the Thai meatballs, and we're going to be doing a quick flatbread that we're going to fry on the actual cast iron. So like I said, 2 pans real quick and easy. So let's do a flyby and show you everything we got. So we've got, okay, so on this side of the ring, we've got ourselves the works for our flatbread. So it's 3 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and then a cup of ice water. That's all you're gonna need, other than a pinch of salt to go inside it, but that's all you're gonna need to make the flatbreads. It's very quick and easy. And we'll start with that first because we have to make the dough, wrap it in plastic, and allow it to rest. On this side of the party, it's everything to make our Thai meatballs. So we got some nice turkey meat, nice ground turkey meat. I've got fish sauce, some chicken stock, sesame seed oil, coconut milk, some panko flake, Thai pepper, ginger, garlic, and then all the seasoning that I put out on the recipes. It's actually going to show you for the to make the Thai curry. So it's like cumin and ground up crushed red, bay leaf broken up. So there it is. So that's going to be the curry that's going to go in the meatballs and also the sauce. So and then also the green onions. So green onions we're going to do for 2 parts. One is the whites we're going to use inside the meatballs, and then the green nice little leafy stems for garnish at the end, with a little bit of cilantro there as well for both in the meatball and out and the sauce for garnish. So let's get started. I'm going to glove up. Let's do this. All right.
Dr. Scott in the house.
Scott. Alright, so got our nice flour here. It's just all-purpose flour. Nothing's fancy, nothing's freaky about it. So we're going to be adding our 2 teaspoons of baking powder in there, which is basically the same process of making a self-rising flour. I'm just going to use a whisk and I'm going to just mix it around inside there. That way we disperse all of the baking powder into it. So we get all the flavors in there, and it's going to be used as a leavening agent basically, so it's going to help the dough rise. The next step that we're going to do, and this is the scary one, I'm going to put a little pinch of salt in there, just have a little bit of fun, a little extra flavor. But the next step we have is ice water. So we're looking at 1 cup of ice water. As you can see here, I got some ice water. It's actually more than a cup, which I know, because once that ice starts melting, it's going to dissolve off. Do yourself a favor, get yourself a nice little screen, if you will, and you can prevent any ice from dropping in to your party. So we got our ice water, nice and cold. Now I'm just going to start bringing it in. I'm going to use my wooden spoon, start moving it about. Already starting to get nice and clumpy. What we're going to do is just keep on adding our water. The whole key is, and this is why I brought the gloves, I want to get in there with the ingredients, I want to get in there with this party. So I'm going to start mashing the water and all the flour and everything into this nice little mix dough. We want to have this happy medium where it's not sticky, but we also don't want it too dry. So if we need to add a little bit of water, it's not a big deal. It's a little bit dry because my flour's sucking it up really good. I'm going to add it in. If your flour doesn't suck it up too bad and you're really sticky, just lightly add little bits of, little sprinkles of flour into it to make it into a dough. You want it to where it's somewhat firm. You can see here it's starting to work. Basically just kneading this inside the dough, inside the excess flour. Get it where I want. You could do this in a mixer if you want. Save yourself a little bit of time. I prefer to just do it by hand at this point in time for such a small batch. Something I can work with. Get to know your ingredients. Have some fun with it. Alright. So now I got this flour dough mixture. So you can knead it out if you want. Just to smooth out a little bit more. But what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this in plastic. So like a lot of batters and doughs and such, you're putting it through a lot of stress here, right? So you're smashing it, you're stretching it, you're pushing it. You gotta let it relax. Plus the ice water's cold, so it may kind of rab up and freak out a little bit. So the next thing you gotta do is wrap this bad boy in plastic. You're gonna sweat it out. Wrapping this up, we do the same thing with pasta. Whenever you make a pasta, wrap it in plastic. This is going to sit there for 10 minutes. So the gluten's going to start coming out of it, start smoothing out. I'm just going to let that chill. So that's going to chill out for the next 10 minutes while we're getting ready to bang out our meatballs.
We're filming live.
Someone's got a question. Alright, let's make some meatballs. Let's have some fun. I like meatballs. Italian meatballs, barbecue meatballs, Thai meatballs. Doesn't matter to me. They're all delicious. It's a meatball. So, I'm trying to keep this beach body rocking that I got here. And in order to do so, cutting a little bit of the calories and going with some turkey. So, got a nice turkey meat. Now what we're going to add to it is half of the curry powder that we've made. So I've actually did this a little bit ahead of time. I crushed up all the spices, the crushed red pepper, the whole nine, everything that went in.
Hey Chef Scott, we got a question. What do you think about those gloves?
Their gloves are great. If you're dealing with raw meats, it's a little bit easier to deal with, especially if you don't like messing around with raw product. The only thing is I tell everybody with gloves, wash your hands anyhow. Gloves are just a barrier, and it's not there to just protect you from anything like raw meats and stuff like that. But if you don't wash your hands, it doesn't really mean much, right? So wash your hands. That's the best thing I can tell you. Wash your hands, keep moving with it. Use gloves when you have to. In restaurants, we have to use gloves anytime that you have to deal with any kind of ready-to-eat product, which is a Port of Health thing. So if it's not going to get cooked, you have to wear gloves. Right? If it's going to go to a guest, you have to wear gloves. But if you're dealing with something that's going to get cooked off, you can, like even the turkey, I could still use my hands, make meatballs the whole 9 yards, and just make sure you wash your hands in between processes so you're not cross-contaminating your whole area. And gloves are good. Alright. So like I said before, we're going to be using not only the whites, but the green part of the green onions. So the green onions, the top half we're going to use towards the end with the sauce for a garnish, but inside I want a nice little onion flavor. So I'm just going to choppy these little bad boys up. Nice little ringlets. Got a couple runaways. Man down. Keeping my greens for later. All I'm doing is just trimming off these little stems. You don't need them. You can always keep them for stock later if you want. You can add them too. I wash these bad boys up, and we still get a little bit of dried out skin. So, just good rule of thumb: if you wouldn't eat it, don't put it in there. We got some green onions. Those are going to go in. Throwing them in there. This is the cool thing about this: is when you're making these, you could just everything's just going to get thrown in. And, we're going to make them into meatballs. So I'm going to retain my greens. Ginger. Ginger is delicious. I love ginger. Ginger is like the miracle of everything. So even if you bought a huge root and you're like, that's all I could get was a big root, and most supermarkets you go in, you break off what you want and you just pay by the pound or by the ounce. Even if you have extra at home, peel this, slice it up, throw it in water, sugar, make a nice ginger tea. Great for the stomach. So all I'm going to do is slice it down. And then we're going to choppy dice this bad boy up. I know a lot of people probably have like garlic presses and stuff out there you use for your garlic, you use for possibly for your ginger. Don't be afraid to use your knife. Little pro tip for you: prevent your losing your phalanges here. So when I use my knife, don't be the pointer. You have no control over that. It's very, very awkward. I like to knuckle up onto the actual heel of it. I'm holding it firm with these two fingers here. I'm letting the knife do the work, right? So the whole thing is let the knife do the work. When you're holding a product and you're cutting it, right? So if this is an onion, if this is whatever you're cutting, you want to tuck your fingers back, right? Just picture this knuckle and this knuckle. Depending on how big the product is what your knife is going to ride on. You're riding on those knuckles, right? But your fingertips are tucked back away, right? No one wants your finger soup. Never a good thing, right? So don't go a million miles an hour if you're not prepared to go a million miles an hour. Just let the knife do the work, slowly slice it, and your back fingers is usually what holds the product in place. So this is getting pretty small for me, but when you hold it, you're holding it in place with these back fingers, keeping it in spot, and then you're just riding down and slicing up whatever you're slicing. Okay? Let the knife do the work, have fun with it, don't lose a finger. A little pro tip for you. Rough chop. Gonna have some chunks in there because we want that to expel right out inside the meat. That's gonna go in. That's gonna get mixed in with all these wonderful goodness. Next up is garlic. Got our nice wonderful garlic, right? So nice hard shell on the outside. We usually start with trimming the tip in where the root is. Don't need that. Cut that off. Once again, this is where we release our frustrations, right, gentlemen? We smack it. Crush it out. It's okay, because we're going to mince this up. We're going to smack this around. We're going to mince it up. Not doing slices with it. If you're wanting to do slices, lightly hammer it. Alright? Alright, so what I also like to do when I'm doing my garlic, kind of picky about this. Put some salt down. Kosher salt. This is going to give friction. It's going to help extract the oils. It's going to pull the juices and oils of the garlic out. And when I start mashing this and smoothing this out, that extra friction goes a long way. Plus, it also gives some flavor while we're doing it. So I'm going to get this down into little choppy chunks, right? Scrape it off. So we got a little leaf on it. There we go. Scrape it off. So you hear that crunch of the kosher salt. So what we're going to do is we're going to just push down on it. We're going to use that salt to really extract those oils, right? We're going to crush it out. We're just going to keep on chopping it. Peel it off. I know some people don't like the smell of garlic on their fingers. Goes with cooking for one, but for two. Now a little fun fact for you guys to do. Whenever you're dealing with garlic, or you're dealing with fish or whatever, and believe me, I've dealt with a lot of fish in my life, and especially working at fish places in my past, use cinnamon to wash your hands with. It'll get rid of that smell. I don't mind it, because I like garlic. My sister can't stand it. So now I get this nice little mint going on here. See, it's starting to push this out, right? That's perfect. See all those oils in there? What I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the knife under and scrape up those oils, right? And that is going to go into the party. Next step. 1 Thai pepper. So, you usually get your heat from the seeds. So if you're not one for a lot of hot, a couple things you can do. You can rub it. Try and knock some of the seeds out. You might want to keep some seeds in. So when you cut it off, and you cut it out, this works really well with jalapeno peppers too. But all those seeds, I can knock out. Uh-oh, cameraman sneezed. You okay there?
Wasn't trying to make a big deal of it.
We got pepper in the air. Pepper in the air. Alright. I'm not extracting all the seeds. I want some of the seeds in there. I want a little bit of heat, a little bit of bite in the back of the throat. So all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna choppy this up. Nice little dice, right? Start off my slices. Those of you that don't want oils on your fingers, this is a great time to use the gloves. If you got some gloves, put them on. So if you rub your eye later, you don't say, "Oh my God, what did I just do?" Right? Never fun. Been there, done that. My parents can habaneros, and when they cook them off, it's like napalm in the air. In the entire house. God bless them. So you see, I did not get rid of all the seeds. I want to keep some of the seeds in there. I don't want this ungodly hot. I'm a big guy when it comes to heat. I like some heat, but I also like flavor. I don't want to have a waiver to sign and say I burned out all of my taste buds in my mouth when I go to eat something. I actually want to taste it. I want to enjoy it. So that goes in. The last step is we're going to take some of this cilantro. Going to pull it off. Nice little bunch of it. The rest of it we're going to use towards the end with our garnish. Not a pro tip for you. If you want to keep your while you're cooking, if you want to keep your cilantro nice and fresh, put it in ice water, and that'll perk it up. If you want to keep it inside your refrigerator, wet a paper towel and roll your herbs inside it. It tends to keep it better, fresher, and it doesn't wilt out on you. So these meatballs are going to be flavorful. No one wants just a boring blasé meatball, right? Whether you're doing Thai, whether you're doing Italian, no one wants a boring meatball. Meatballs, especially in the Italian world, if you don't do it right, you don't make a good meatball and a good red sauce or red gravy, well, you're in a world of hurt. So you gotta really make good meatballs. Alright, so I just did a nice little rough chop. Scrape it off. Grab it. And it goes. Another flavor of awesomeness that we got going on here. Alright. So that's what it's looking like so far. Alright. Stay hydrated. Stay thirsty. Alright. I'm gonna get ready to go in here and play. It gets fun. And we're gonna be making the meatballs. Cool thing is if you got a lot of turkey meat in here, maybe you're doing a solo act eating this, and you have a lot of meatballs left over, you can freeze them, pull them out later, and you don't have to do the recipe again. It's just done, ready to roll. So, pulling out some panko flake. This is panko flake, which is basically a rice bread. Rice. So I'm gonna incorporate some panko in there. The reason for breading, the panko breading, or any kind of breading that I'm putting in a meatball, is because, especially with turkey or chicken, it dries out really fast. It gets really dry wicked quick. So the meatball, to keep it nice and moist, we add a little bit of the breadcrumb into it, right? That's going to keep it from turning out to be a dry biscuit when we go to eat. Just a little bit more, firm it up a little bit. I'm just rolling this around to grab all the other goodies in there. That actually smells really good. It smells really good. Not that I was worried about it, because it does smell really good. But I love making fun meatballs. Alright, so we got our meat in there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually make a meatball. So depending on the size that you want, so whether you want a big manly meatball or nice little 2-ounce meatball, something that just remember, these will shrink as you cook. You're just going to put them in your hand to the desired amount that you want. You're going to roll them out. Roll them in your hand. Rolling. We're making meatballs. Delish. I'm going to just lay these out.
If you guys have any questions, please ask Chef Scott.
Yell it out. Text it out. Type it out. Thank God we got other people that are more tech savvy. Smell of curry in it. It's a nice curry. Fun thing to do with your curry is if you can get the whole seeds of the cumin and
You got a question, Pops?
yo,
Have you ever stuffed meatballs with cheese?
yeah, heck yeah. What's really good? I've done grilled meatballs with a chunk of cheese inside the center of them, and also bacon mixed in there too. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of delish. It's delicious, and I've done it with almost like the same process that we're doing here. Only I did it with that time I had jalapenos, and I did basically I think I can't remember, it was a cumin base, little jalapenos, cheddar inside the center, or cheddar jack to so it would melt and ooze out. I guess the closest thing you can get to it is like in Wisconsin. They have a burger there called the Juicy Lucy, which is basically 2 burger patties together, but in the center they stuff it with cheese. So that's what they're known for. One of their regional foods. I love regional foods, they're fun. Alright, so I made some meatballs. Bum-ba-da-da, meatballs.
Got a platoon of meatballs.
A platoon of meatballs. Get ready to roll them out! Alright, so over here at the oven time. So now I've got my round dough, which is basically a larger frying pan. I've got my cast iron. So I have my round dough here. I'm going to start preheating it. And it has sesame seed oil. The nice thing is sesame seed oil is very flavorful, right? You get some flavors in there and it gives that really Asian style infusion going on when we start making the sauce. So you're really going to find out where it's at. I'm basically just going to let them heat up. Get hot. When they start to get hot, I'm going to drop in a circular pattern with the meatballs.
One more question, Pops.
Yeah.
Do you stream pretty often?
Every Sunday. Every Sunday we're streaming. We have a lot of fun. Come join us.
Every Sunday at 6.
Every Sunday, pretty much 6, unless we're doing a big recipe. We'll do one earlier in the day that takes a long time for like a cooking process. We've done like pork tacos, and we started off at noon that day. Did an hour, basically prepping the pork, getting it inside the Dutch oven, and then it roasted all day long, and everyone just went off and did their own thing. Had a couple people do it in a crock pot as well. And then we came back at 6 to finish up the recipe. So usually most of the time it's a one-off in the evening at 6 o'clock, because that's when we eat. I'm basically making dinner for everyone too here. So yeah, join us anytime. We also take suggestions if you want to learn something, you want to see a recipe done. I'm very open to anybody's suggestions. So I just basically wake up in the middle of the night and say, this sounds fun. Between that and walking over to my freezer and opening it up, say, what do we got? Let's do something with it, right? So it's my world. I love cooking. I love cooking in the kitchen. It's just what I do, and we've always done it here in this house. With the whole family. But we invite everybody. You can find this and all the other recipes that we've done in the past and videos. I have a YouTube channel under Chef Scott Blair, and then my website is chefscottblair.com. So if you join me there, you can shoot me a message. Send me a picture of what you guys made. I always like to see what you guys do, and we'll actually post them on the site. It's always fun. Alright, before I really get into the fry, I need to grab my tongs. This is a very important part of it. The second part of it that's very important is we gotta make sure our tongs are calibrated. Sound good to you?
Give those bad boys a few test clicks.
It sounds like they're tonging.
They work.
They are tonging. They click properly.
And they open and shut.
They open and shut. We're good. We're good with that. So this bad boy's starting to sizzle. Like I said, I'm going to put these in a circular pattern, going around my pan. And the key with a good meatball, any meatball you're doing, cook them on all sides and do it in the pan, right? Because it makes a nice crust on the outside. Yes.
We got a viewer that went to your website, and the lettuce wraps that you made look wicked good.
Oh, wicked good.
Wicked good.
Wicked good.
Wicked good.
We got a rowdy out there. Is there someone from Rhode Island?
Oh, maybe not Rhode Island. Maybe New England.
From the Northeast Bostonian person. Yeah. Wicked good.
Forgot the Sam Adams.
We're just gonna let these bad boys have playgrounds out here, do some sizzling. Just bring it in for smell-o-vision. Let them hear it.
Massachusetts, Boston area.
Massachusetts, Boston area. Spent many a time up there. Many a time up there. Worked for a group that was in the Back Bay area.
Somebody said, can spinach substitute for cilantro?
It's not going to have the same flavor profile, but if you're looking for like a healthy alternative and put some added veg to it, why not? Try it. You know, I mean, I've done spinach meatballs before. Very easy to do. I would, you know, there's two ways of doing it. So one is if you wanted it into raw form and cook it inside the meatball, let it steam out, you can do it. Or you can actually, you know, saute or even blanch the spinach off and then chop it up. You can do it that way too. Listen to the sizzling awesomeness. Ooh. So I'm just going to let this party happen, right? I want a nice little shell all the way around it. We're just going to let it crust up. I'm going to roll them. Just turn them and roll them and cook them on all sides. That's the key thing that we're going to do here. So while that party happens, let's get ready to do some dough, right? Do a little bit of housekeeping there while doing dough. Alright. So I'm just basically cleaning this up because I don't like cooking in a mess. I can't do it. It hits my OCD to a different level. And I admit to it, yes. I have a little bit of OCD when it comes to certain stuff. So, I've removed my cutting board, got my nice little surface here. We got our dough, and if you actually start feeling it now, it's gotten a lot softer. Give it a squeeze. Give it a squeeze. Yes. Alright. I'm going to pull this bad boy out. Smack it.
Gotta give it a test smack before you do it.
That's right.
Punch it. Alright, so all I'm going to do, I'm going to have some flour here. Going to get my dough scraper out. You don't have to have the fancy smanchy stuff to do it. If you don't want, it's okay. No one will take away your birthday. Just going to do a light little dusting. Then I'm going to take my flour. And we're going to start portioning it out the dough portion sizes that we want. So nice little rounds. Then we're going to roll these things out. We can make. So the question is, how thickness do I want? Do I want them big? Do I want them small? Choice is yours. Do you want a bigger piece of bread that someone can rip off and start chowing down? Knock yourself out. I'm getting a look from one of the hungry cameramen. He's like, this ain't gonna do me, dude, which is fine. So we're gonna appease him and give him a big old chunk of bread, right? I like working with doughs. It's always fun. That bad boy. All we're going to do is portion up all this dough into pieces. Then you're going to roll it out, right? Just like so. Nice little roll out. And if it's not perfectly round, that's just fine. It doesn't have to be perfectly round. You want the nice little awkwardness of it. Makes it more, it's authentic, it's real. So you're just gonna put that out to the side. You're gonna go through and you're gonna bang out all these doughs. Let's go ahead and cut them up. Ooh, come over here. Alright. So now you see we're starting to get a nice crust. You can see it in the pan. Scrape you up. It's kind of hard to do with tongs. Just gonna roll them. Cook the other side. Now, if stuff starts caking on the bottom, see this little party that's going on down here? Don't freak out. That's flavor. We're gonna use that inside the sauce that we end up making that goes with this. So this is gonna have a little bit of fish sauce, some chicken stock to it, and we're gonna have some coconut coconut milk. Well, I'm gonna get my real burner. Driving me crazy. Get in there, scrape them up, flip them over. Whole key is to cook it on all sides. Get that nice little, see that, look at that one. Look at that happiness that's happening on that. That is just, that's so good you want to smack your mama, that's how good it is. You're crowding too much, move you over. Now roll them over. The other nice thing that when you put this sear on this, it traps in all the juices and all the flavor. So it's not going to bleed out on you. That's where you get your flavor. We're just going to let that party on, right? Go back to our dough. Even with these flatbreads that we're making, don't be afraid to do whatever you want with them, right? Everything I'm showing you here, this is just a guide. I'm not gonna yell at you and say, why did you use that, right? So if you want to do some roasted garlic, chop it up, throw it in there. What's up?
You want to smack your mama, LOL, is that a southern saying?
No, that's a twisted chef that's worked too many hours saying it. I don't know where I got it. I just started saying it one day and everyone usually laughs at it, but that's what happens when you work in kitchens way too long. You find things to amuse yourself. I'll tell you what, some of the best ones I've heard is actually when we lived up in Rhode Island, and I had a lot of Southies from South Boston that worked with me, and they were the trip. These guys were the funnest group of guys I've ever worked with, and they had probably some of the funniest slangs. Most of the time I couldn't understand them. They would say something, I'm like, huh? It was funny though. Great group of guys, I miss them.
So I'm going to start saying that.
Smack your mama.
Don't try it at home, you might get varying results.
You will get varying results. I don't say that in front of my mama. Mama would smack me.
Results may vary.
Yeah, results may vary.
Approach with caution. But it's good. I say that and I say, oh, that looks sexy a lot when it comes to food. I say that a lot. It's another chefism. Come off to the side. Ooh, hello guys. They're looking good. As you can see, I'm doing everything at once. You can make your breads ahead of time if you want. You can warm them up in the oven. I just like to rip through it as much as fast as possible with everything at once because it's just because I'm used to doing it. Right? Kitchens, you do a million things at once. And if you can't do it, then you shouldn't be in the kitchen basically when you work to do it professional. But when you're at home, take your time, enjoy. Get your family involved. Have some kids making some dough balls for you. I always love it when people join here because we do everything on meats as well. And sometimes we have families that join us and they got their kids working with them, which is always a blast. It's always a fun time. Stuff happens. Now we got a buttload of these flatbreads that are ready to rock in our cast iron. So,
Yes.
the next
This cameraman right here.
going to that guy right there.
What about me, man?
So, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to preheat my cast iron. I'm just going to let that get hot. The nice thing about cooking in cast irons, once you get it hot, it cooks very even, right? It goes all the way across, very evenly cooks. Once you season it and you really properly keep it seasoned, it's like a nonstick. We use this every day.
Yeah, pretty much.
We use it with eggs, we use it with potatoes and everything, nothing sticks in it. And it's just because we've seasoned it over and over again, and it's just a matter of taking oil, wiping it in there, baking it on there, wiping it, and then letting it cool, do the same process over and over again, like 6 times. And then as you cook, it keeps on that residual on the outside, and then you got a non-stick. You don't have to worry about any Teflon or the Teflon glue out there, so that's why I love dealing with cast iron. Yeah, it'll be the best pan you ever buy in your life. And like I said, I love cast irons. And right now all I've got inside here is just some olive oil, right? Got it nice and good with some olive oil. Oh, let's see what's happening here. So now I'm going to start turning these again. Start working another side. Like I said, if it starts sticking a little bit, don't freak. It's okay. That's tasty vittles that are going to be in the sauce later. All I'm doing is standing them up now. Start cooking the sides. Get it up there. Break you both loose. Oh, right there. I feel like someone's watching me. I don't know why.
It's the shoulder cam.
You ever get that feeling that someone's checking you out? I get that. Alright, we're going to let that keep on cooking, right? Getting a nice sear all the way around. Meantime, our cast iron's heating up. I'm actually starting to feel the heat in here.
Put your hands on my shirt.
Yeah. We're not that hot yet. I mean, you can still grab the handle. Not that hot yet. Of course, I'm also cooking this under like a medium low, so I don't need to turn it to wicked high. See, the other thing is a lot of people, they get confused when they're cooking. It's like I gotta turn it on high heat or nothing. You know, once you get the pan pretty much hot, now after that, what you want to do is keep the temperature level, right? So once you get it hot, let's keep it level. You can see I'm at pretty much medium low on all this. Once my cast iron gets hot, I'm not gonna have to worry about any of that. You're here in the dishwasher. I'm gonna lay it up against this. I'm actually excited. I can't wait to start deglazing this bad boy. There, I choose you. We got the garlic, we got ginger, we got onion, green onion. We got all these flavors that are now starting to rock inside this pan. See, this is what I'm talking about. See all this right here? This is not burnt. This is actually flavor. This is what you want. Get some turn. All right. Ooh, we're getting hot. I'm going to start to wait for just until it starts to smoke. Just a little bit, not like a raging inferno. Okay, so give your neighbors a break if you live in a townhouse or an apartment. Don't have this raging fire hot going on, or else you're going to Set off every smoke alarm inside the neighborhood. The whole key of doing this is once we put it inside the hot pan, we want it to start to raise up a little bit with leavening agent that we have, the baking powder that's in there. It'll start raising it up a little bit. It's not going to blow up like a big piece of bread, so it's still going to be a flatbread. But we want to get some nice browning marks on both sides. We want to brown it up nicely. The other thing you can look for a really hot pan is when you're looking at the oil, you can see it start circulating. So when I sit there, it's sizzling nicely. Had to wash up my tongs. They still calibrated properly. And right here. Alright, so look at these meatballs. So as we've been cooking now, I'm slowly rolling these meatballs around, just getting them nice and caramelized and cooked through. You are dealing with poultry, so make sure you cook your poultry up to 165 degrees. Gotta tell you that. Very important. But if you're cooking it this long and then the sauce on it, these ain't gonna be all the way done. Look, so now we got some bubbles, right? Starting to bubble. That's what we want. We want those bubbles to pop up. That's what makes that really cool looking flatbread, almost like a naan. See, we're starting to get the brown. We're going to let that go just a little bit longer. Just see it's more browned on it. Alright, in the meantime, I'm ready to do some work here. My chicken stock. And that's going to be going in. I'm going to deglaze with it, which is good. Use your spatula and just let that glaze start picking this stuff up, right? Save yourself a headache later when you're cleaning. As you can see, it's coming right up. Just as it gets hot, I'm just going to scrape that residual. This is almost like a pan gravy, right? Get a gravy going. And I'm cleaning it as I go, basically. Just scraping up all that goodness, all those flavors. Start moving my meatballs around here. So I'm just going to let this this stock get flavorful here with all these residual yummies. Reduce down a little bit, right? When it's done, our coconut will also give us a little bit of thickening to it, but we're going to reduce it down. I want to have a nice, smooth, thick consistency and not be watery. No one wants a watery sauce. Plus, as I reduce this down, it's going to increase the flavor. Boom! Look at that. Nice and colored. Beautiful. Action camera. Action. So, some of the spring onions have dropped down in there. That's fine. Also, some of the oils and the ginger and the garlic is inside here. And that smells so good. Here's one. The flop. Like I said, you could do these ahead of time and just put them off to the side, and then when dinner services come around, warm them up in the oven.
The miniest of flatbreads right there.
Yes, the tiny
tiny
guy. Like I said, if you're doing a solac, you can actually make this ahead of time. And you can bag it up and freeze whatever you don't want to eat and make yourself a meal for later. You know, it's one less thing you have to do later on when you get home from a busy day at work. Delicious. Alright, so we've reduced quite a bit of this stock. You see here I got a nice good simmer going on. Bubble action, it's always good. You can force it to reduce down if you want by dropping it into the flame itself and creating a really quick rapid boil on high if you're pinched for time just trying to get it done. If not, let it just go natural. Get crazier. I like to do it nice and slow and extract the flavors. Alright. The next step that we're going to do now is I got our coconut milk. And I have the other half of the homemade curry that we made, this Thai curry. Add in my coconut milk.
We got a comment out there. Could you please make tomato pie sometime this summer?
Tomato pie! Why not? Let's have some fun.
Sounds good.
I think we should also do a peach cobbler with that if we're going to do that.
Strawberry rhubarb. Northern pie.
Peaches are going to be coming in really soon. It's going to make it good. So now, got that coconut milk in. I'm just going to disperse the rest of that curry that we've made. It's going to amp that sauce up really good. Alright? And we got a lot of flavors rocking in there.
Yeah, peach cobbler too, yeah. Are we going to make that in the cast iron?
Yeah, why not? We've been making it in the cast iron.
Yeah, right in this bad boy.
Peach cobbler, peach pie. Oh man, like a deep dish cobbler. Oh, that'd be so good. I love me some peach cobbler. Nice brown sugar and cinnamon top and crumb over the top of it. How good that would be. That's definitely one that you want to smack your mouth with. That's how good that would be. That'd be sexy. So I'm just gonna let that party on and have a nice little sizzle party here. The sizzle is the simmering is good. You want to reduce it down to help thicken the sauce. I mean, this is not super watery. It really isn't. But as you can see, this is what we call nappe, where it starts to cling to the spoon. Just want a little bit longer. Flatbread coming in. Done. He's airborne. Boom. Gonna let that one sizzle out. So this is where I'm just basically the coconut milk has the coconut fat in it, which is nice. So but this bubbling, the simmering action is releasing extra moisture, right? And keeping the flavors in there. That's what we want. Let her go. This is gonna be good. You smell that?
It's like smell-o-vision.
Oh, get a whiff in there. You can really smell it. That's really good.
Yeah, let's smell, chat.
Yeah, good. Finishing off. This is go. How we looking? We bubbling?
Looking good.
Bubbling. Garnishing this bountiful feast. It is very easy, very good, very yummy. As you should be.
Especially with the coconut.
Oh yes.
No, I like this coconut.
Coconut curry. So that's another thing. So reduce that down. Oh yeah, so now you can see the color of the sauce is actually starting to change. Look at that, it's gotten darker. It's gotten those pan drippings up. Look how thick that sauce has turned out now. It's definitely McVeigh. Really good. So this sauce is actually going to go on all the meatballs when we pour it over. It's going to be a nice dipping sauce to go with that flatbread. It's really good. We did this as a basic curry. Curry is, there's a million curries out there. Curry is just basically a spice blend. That's all. It's a spice blend. Even when you make, Southwest chili here in America, the cumin, the chili powder, and the garlic and everything, that's a curry. So it's just a spice blend. So this was a Thai spice blend that I've given you on the recipe. There's Indian blends, and there's also regional blends of different curries out there, which is fun. I mean, you can just find different seasonings out there. Yeah.
Looks great. Thank you, Chef Scott.
Outstanding. We're gonna plate this bad boy up too. Stick around.
Stick around for plating.
Plating fun.
Oh, that smells really good.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is put another flatbread in there. I'm going to plate up a meatball portion for us all, right? So we've got our green onion. We got our cilantro leaves. What I'm going to do is just do a nice little choppy, nice little ringlets, something fun, right? Very simple. And then I'm going to be looking at some leaves. I want to break off some leaves from the stems. I'm not going to just chuck the whole stems and everything in there. I'm going to put some nice leaves to garnish our plate. And take our plate here. Plate up some nice meatballs, right? Squeeze in here real quick, get me sauce spoon. Just gonna pour this wonderful sauce on those meatballs. Like so. Now we got that. And to take a little bit of green onion for some colors, right? Put some cilantro in there. Extra flavor and color. And then finish it off. A nice piece of rustic flatbread. That is a quick meal anyone can do. All right, so that's how quick and easy it's done. You can, like I said, you can do a lot of this stuff the night before. Thanks for joining us. We always love to see everyone on here. We're going to have another one. Like I said, every Sunday we do it usually around 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock to the 7 o'clock hour. So we'll be back again next weekend with another recipe. Until then, check out my site, chefscottblair.com. All my recipes and links to the YouTube videos are on there. You can follow me on Instagram, which is Chef Scott Blair 99.
Yes.
And then also here on Twitch, Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Chef Scott. So thanks for having me in your home. Come back and see us again.